All right. Welcome back, everyone, to another Point 3 live stream. It is Wednesday, April 17th. Spider Brando, Hero Scroll, and Lou, we, your favorite trio of hosts, are back again, and we are going to be discussing the latest superhero news, some pop culture news, some movie news. And listen, everyone, it's been a big week in terms of everyone talking about animation, and it is continuing to grow day by day, week by week. The MCU is now doing something potentially crazy. We're going to talk about it in our deep dive a little bit later on in this episode. So if you're watching this live, stay with us. If you have this on the recording, feel free to check that out. Come back and listen to the news, whatever works for you. But before we jump into it, gentlemen, I got to drop something real quick to you guys because I've been on this animation hype train. You guys know about it. I just finished watching 1998 Silver Surfer animated episode 1.
Oh God.
Legit. If you're someone who wants like a good background and you heard all the Fantastic Four news and you're like, what? Who is that? I can't believe it. Oh my gosh, they would never. Well, guess what? They did. It's been out. It came out in 1998. Go check it out. It's 20 minutes of a fantastic refresher. JT Mahoney. Woo.
What's up, JT?
Bam.
What's up, JT?
Sick logo there, by the way.
I got that poster.
Yep.
Similar poster to that.
Respect. But all right, let's not keep the people waiting. Spider Brando, let's jump into our rapid fire news for this week.
We got a lot of CinemaCon revelations from this past weekend. Revealed at CinemaCon, animated Aang movie, Avatar Aang, has been announced. It's supposed to be a trilogy, I believe, also following his later years in life, and has Dave Bautista cast as a villain for it. I'm excited.
Yeah. They also revealed, I think the title is Aang, the Last Airbender.
Mm-hmm.
And they revealed who's voicing Aang, the voice actor for him. I can't remember his name.
Was it Eric something?
It might be.
I can't think of
I can't remember his name at the moment, but Dave Bautista is a good choice for a villain.
Yeah. No,
Oh, yeah.
I like that. He's come up clutch. Shout out Doom Part 1 to Part 2. Came out. Watched it last night.
Yeah. Ooh. Oh, you finally got to it?
I did. We can eventually talk about it.
Quick
I have my gripes. 8.5 out of 10. First watch. 8.5 out of 10. Just throwing it out there.
That's fair.
Respect.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know. What do we got next?
We got bad news. Hero, if you want to take it.
Yeah, we kind of talked about it in our video from yesterday in terms of Marvel generating hype from CinemaCon. So if you haven't watched that, definitely watch that back. But we saw the new logo for Thunderbolts, right? It is now, if you guys remember originally, it was this, it was a more different font. It looked very like, what's the word I'm looking for? Rustic.
Yeah.
War type, like, style to it.
Yeah. It looked cool. You know, it was the brown. It looked more copper color. It looked good. Felt very Thunderbolts. Now we got an updated logo. It is the most plain looking font. I swear it just might be Times New Roman. And it's just Thunderbolts. But aside from it being yellow and a very boring font, they have now added an asterisk, right?
Yeah.
In the title. Apparently it has story implications according to Kevin Feige. Gents, we kind of talked about it. We know that this is a huge downgrade in terms of logos. But what do you guys think this updated logo really means in terms of the movie. Let's throw our way too early year out predictions for what the logo means.
Oh, Spider-Man, do you have a thought? I don't want to steal your
do.
thunder. No pun intended.
It's a star. That means we didn't think this movie through all the way. Just disregard it. It doesn't matter.
Like it's like Kevin Feige sent a text and he's like, "Hey, we got a new movie that we're gonna start developing. It's called The Replacements." And they're like, "What?" And he's like, "Oh, my bad. I'm Thunderbolts." Asterisk. Oops. This movie feels like it's going to be exactly like the font. Plain, boring. I have my hype level, I think, is decreased when I saw that. I was like, "Ooh, Thunderbolts news." I heard people talking about it and I was like, "Oh, let me see what it looks like." I thought that people just posted up kind of like some like bootleg AI bogus photo. And I was like, that can't be it. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, it really is it." Okay, we're doing it.
It's weird. It reminds me of the Hawkeye font and logo a
Yeah.
little bit, but like I don't know.
More boring.
Yeah.
Hawkeye at least
Actually,
went
legit,
with
it's
the
like the same as the Hawkeye logo. Or as the
yeah.
Hawkeye.
They made it cool though, and like paid homage to kind of some creators who
Yeah,
were
that
attached to
little
like the
arrow.
like it had a little bit more to it. But Thunderbolts ain't shaping up to look too good.
I feel like we need an MCU redo this before it even comes out.
No, I'd redo the cast in a heartbeat still.
Yeah, the cast you definitely can't. I don't know, man. It just, with as much change as this movie's gone, right? I think the logo is just kind of the huge indicator that this movie, I don't think, is the same. It's not the same story they had planned for when they originally announced this, right? Because I think this was supposed to close out Phase 5, right?
Thought that was supposed to be the end of Phase 5, yeah.
And now it's launching kind of midway through, I'd say mid to late way through,
About
and it still has a couple other movies ahead of it. It's very weird. It's super weird. I just think that it's indicative of the change that it's gone through. I feel like story wise, they're probably just going to say, like, oh, it's a Black Ops team. So, they're trying to like redact it in some way. But I don't know. I would not be surprised if the cast of characters changes. I know
Wow.
they showed that one picture of everybody, and I know that Yelena's still there, and I bet your bigger players are still there. Yelena, Bucky, Red Guardian. I wouldn't be surprised if we see certain changes.
I kind of hope they have changes. Obviously, they're filming now in Georgia, Atlanta, I believe. We'll see what comes out. Good friend of the show, Daniel RPK asterisk. He probably will have something. And you know what's funny? I know this isn't news that we have on here, but there are more thoughts and leaks around Captain America Brave New World, and that going back to the initial rumors of these two movies are going to tie together. I don't know. I still think it's junk. I really think people are going to insert so many rumors to make this sound better than it's going to be. Early, super early prediction. This may be the worst MCU movie in terms of box office and score.
Damn.
Do you think it'll be the worst in terms of story though? Because before you answer, I agree with you. I think box office is going to be trash, and I think ratings wise, it's probably going to be on the lower end. But I guarantee it's going to be down to the marketing of this film, because right now it doesn't feel good. And unless this trailer comes out and is the best thing that we've ever seen in our life, I don't see that changing.
Yeah, no. And the only reason why I'm going to say no is I like Yelena, but I have not loved the storylines that Yelena has been a part of. And if she is going to be the focal point of the Thunderbolts and kind of be the lead of the team, where Bucky falls into that supplemental role and isn't having as much screen time as we hope he does, I have yet to see them really throw a good Yelena storyline out there, because we've seen her, what, 3 projects?
Yes.
Yeah.
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 I
Fair.
don't know.
Spider-Man, no?
I was gonna say, I have somewhat of a theory on the star now. So you know how Falcon and Winter Soldier came out, and by the end of it, they kind of like changed it to Cap and the Winter Soldier. You think the star is them ostracizing it to potentially having like a little like a name change by the end of the movie?
Yeah, good point. Maybe.
That's better than what I'm hoping. I think it's going to be
Yeah.
something so dumb.
But I do think it'll be like the I just saw something cringe. I remember that rumor with how the team name gets formed because of its like Yelena's
Soccer
younger
team.
soccer team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet it's like Thunderbolt Ross coming up with this name, but then her also coming up with the name and just slapping like she slaps a star on it because that was her idea. I bet that's what it is.
I won't. Even if that feels very possible, this for me, this has turned into a mini deep dive. So you guys are welcome for
Yeah.
all the point 3 knowledge. This is one of those where I'm gonna lean into my Marvel fanboyness and my toxic MCU mindset and just say, I don't care what they do. This should stem from Thunderbolt Ross, period. This should be the MCU version of the Suicide Squad, period. This is not a fun change from Marvel Studios. I don't care for it. And I think by default, I'm going to have like a -5. This could be a 10 out of 10, and I'm going to be like, it's a 5 out of 10. Just because I just, they have to win me over. This has to be a 15 out of 10, and it won't be.
Yeah, I have a question in regards to that, but I have another point in what you said about the Suicide Squad. And I know we're doing this very weird dive into logos, but if you look at the Suicide Squad logo, it really conveys the idea of what the team is. And I know some people are probably like nerds, and it's like, yes, we are. But when you look at the Suicide Squad logo and you look, it is a more basic, logo. It's just the Suicide Squad. It's white outlined in black, but the suicide is all dirty and like shot up. So it adds personality to it. This new logo doesn't feel like there's any personality in it whatsoever. And that
feel
sucks.
no redemption.
And it sucks because again, it feels like such a huge downgrade from the other one that had a little more. So anyways, my one last question before we move away from the topic of Thunderbolts. What does this movie have to do for you guys? Excuse me. What does this movie have to do for you guys to consider it a success? Besides box office, right? Because we know that that's its own separate question. And I feel like, or that's a whole separate thing, right? And I feel like we can't place that kind of expectation on this movie. But story-wise, what does this movie need to do to be successful and for us to look back on it and be like, yes, Thunderbolts was actually good? Because right now it feels like the most throwaway thing that Marvel's ever produced.
There's only one thing I could think of, but I'm not saying it.
Say it.
Ooh,
No,
you
I'll
have
say
to.
Spider-Man.
You have to
No,
now.
Spider-Man, if it's
Come on,
Spider-Man,
man.
say no,
Cheeto
but-
hot take.
It's not a hot take or anything. I literally
one
can't
take.
say it.
Type
Next
it
question.
in. Type it in our private chat, and then we
Yeah,
can tell
yeah.
you if you could say it.
We won't say it. Scott's honor.
Yeah.
The suspense is kind of killing me, though. I'm very
I was going to
curious.
say I'm scared now.
I'm like, is it like you just can't say it because this is a family-friendly show?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh.
Wow.
Next question.
Oh.
Wait, where'd you put it?
I didn't put it anywhere.
Well, what are you doing? We just
Obi-
wasted
We're
minutes.
waiting.
I would like to see this. The only way this movie could be a success if it puts closure on a lot of these people's storylines that were opened up for no reason. Like we got Taskmaster and Black Widow. Just I don't need to see like 4 projects with them. We don't need to see like 4 projects with Red Guardian. We already got 2 projects with Ghost. Bucky. I would like to see some closure for Bucky. And US Agent. I don't know. I'd like to see a little more from him. But like honestly, just have them all get closed out in this movie and just call it. Except for Yelena.
Ooh, this is tough because now we're getting into where I feel like I could ramble on this. I'm gonna try to make this as short as possible, and this may fall. This kind of piggybacks off what you're saying, and maybe might tie into what you would say, Hero. But I think this needs to be a combination of like they were chosen because they have no value, and they're just kind of throwaways because what they're gonna do probably is a life or death type of scenario. I really hope it's centuries. It centers around Sentry. And the only way that I can see Sentry being put on the map to feel bigger than a Thor or a Hulk, or really like elevate over Namor, I would need Bucky dead, US Agent dead, Taskmaster dead, Red Guardian dead, Val dead. Like every single one of those characters. Did I say dead too many times for a live stream? Dang, maybe. Oops.
Oopsie.
I think the only one who would really stand tall and survive, and I think this would make them a very they're a likable character, but I think this would elevate them, would be Yelena. If she's the one that can kind of live and survive a Sentry attack in the end, and it comes down to some core heroes pop in, or the real Avengers team gets introduced here, and we get the introduction of the actual Avengers by the end of this movie, and they kind of pop in and save the day. 1, because we have no Avengers team. That'd be kind of dope. 2, we'd have Sentry. 3, we would have no more Thunderbolts, and we'd wrap up loose ends. And then 4, the people on the inside kind of get exposed, and we move this street level story to, Secret Wars, giving us better characters and establishing an Avengers team. I think this would be one where stakes can be really high by Lizard leaguing the Thunderbolts.
Ooh, I like that analogy.
Yeah. Shout out Invincible.
If you know,
Season
you
2.
know. Oh yeah.
Great points to both you guys. I think they definitely do need to do a combination of those two things, right? Honestly, if it were me, you have Thunderbolt Ross be the central villain of a 3-part film event. It would start in Cap, what's it called, Brave New World.
Mm-hmm.
Go into Thunderbolts, and then probably another film.
Mm-hmm.
This would be the middle part, and I would say you just have kind of like what you were saying. I don't know if you can kill everybody, right? But if you write off a good majority of the team by the end of it, like Thunderbolt Ross intentionally sacrificing them, to gain something else, I think that would be fantastic. That would be a great story to tell. You learn, you grow with these characters only to have them ripped away. It would be very different for Marvel as well if they did it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're going to, though.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if what we've seen from Daniel RPK's, rumors about the film and everything are to be believed. So it's weird because even though I asked the question, right, I don't know what I want with this film.
Mm-hmm.
I want it to surprise me. I do. But hearing like everything around it, and then what's coming before it with Brave New World, and how there's a lot of rumors that Red Hulk is kind of a one shot, like a one and done, and it's like,
That's
dang, that
yeah,
sucks.
yeah.
And it immediately throws me into a loop because I'm like, I don't know what else you do with this thing. So I don't know. I don't know what I want, but I want it to be good. And I hope it impresses me. I just want them to drop something story related.
At minimum, I almost feel that this should be a Civil War 2. And I just, my thing of knowing like a Red Hulk really probably is not going to be there. The next best thing for me to feel like this is pretty big would be some sort of infiltration or invasion of Wakanda, like we've always kind of said since the end of Wakanda Forever. And when they finally get to the final piece to kind of break in there, the door opens and you got Shuri, Sam, Shang-Chi, She-Hulk, somebody. Like, you got 5 or 6 characters that are like, what are you guys doing? Like, we're gonna stop you. And if they don't eventually, die off, then they get captured and imprisoned, and like maybe that can start the true run of what a Thunderbolts team would feel like. I don't know. It just, even that, it just mid-tier at best. I hate saying that, but those feel so far-fetched of like cool ideas that they can do. I don't know.
We'll see. We'll see. We got a long way to go till we see this movie, and I'm sure this will not be the last time that we talk about it. So
No, good preliminary conversation. The next thing that we're going to talk about, piece of news, getting back to it, maybe Thunderbolts can pull some inspiration from this show, but The Boys season 4 is done and ready for the June premiere on Prime Video. Do you guys have any sort of interest in The Boys season 4, catching up to it, or anything along those lines?
yes, very excited. Spider Brando,
My
you're
mic
on
is
mute.
muted. I gotta make sure I catch up on Gen V before June. I feel like a robot saying that twice.
Yeah, I'm sure this is going to be a great season.
Yeah.
Seasons 1 through 3 did not disappoint, so I'm sure this one will not.
But we can't. We have a loyal 0.3 comment in here from one of the greats, Dale. We got to go back to it. I'm sorry, we're dipping back into the well real quick. Just real quick. We're just dipping a toe in. Hero Scroll, you want to take first stab?
Ooh, okay. Who would be, Dylan says, if you had the power to change it up, who would be your MCU Thunderbolts lineup? If we're going, what should we say? 5 person, 6 person?
Let's go 5.
5. All right. Yelena, Abomination, Baron Zemo. Who I would say Winter Soldier still over Red Guardian for sure. And just because I feel like it would be really cool and it would add a lot more credibility, throw another Avenger in there, an actual one, and you throw in Hawkeye.
Whoa.
Ooh.
Whoa, Advil Man. All right.
You already have that relationship with Yelena there and the story you could tell from that. I mean, if Thunderbolts will delve into the more Black Ops nature of the Marvel side, I mean, Hawkeye's done Black Ops stuff, so why not, And for them to kind of, I know that it's kind of like, in a way, been done before of him like accepting his past, but if you actually blackmail him with it now, I think you could tell a cool story with that.
Dang. Okay. Spider Brando, you got 5?
Yeah. I'm thinking I would keep Yelena, keep Bucky, Keep U.S. Agent just for some story continuation. And I'm torn between what to do with Ghost. Because I feel like I would like to keep Ghost just because her powers are pretty interesting.
Legit from a
And
Black
with
Ops.
like
Yeah.
fine tuning and like proper suits or training, she could be pretty damn cool for Black Ops stuff. And her story was gracefully opened up in Ant-Man and the Wasp. It would be cool to get some closure on it. And for the last spot, I have a unique one of potentially Kate Bishop somehow stumbling across here instead of Hawkeye. Just to have her first like with a team and kind of like somehow it wouldn't really make a lot of sense, but
I like it.
Okay. Okay.
kind of like having her get like a team before like it's gonna be like her first taste at a team before going into Young Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of the only basis. Like maybe Hawkeye could have opened her up to fill in the role for his spot.
I like that.
You got one, Lou?
I do. Yelena makes sense. Bucky, have to. U.S. Agent, done. Now my final two, I like Ghost. I like the aspect. Black Ops, understood. But if we're saying MCU specific and we want to make this movie a little bit spicier and blur some lines, I'm actually going to kick U.S. Agent out. I'm going to put Zemo in. I like that one. I'm going to put War Machine in here. And then we're going to get our first cinematic inclusion of the Punisher. That would be my MCU Thunderbolts.
Ooh.
Oh,
Let's go,
I
boys.
wasn't even thinking.
What are we doing?
Oh,
What are we doing?
Oh.
I'd line up to watch that movie then.
Hold on. That deserves. Oh wow.
You saw
That
it.
is well. Ooh. I gotta make one that goes with the banners.
That would be an interesting movie in my opinion.
I mean, so just in case, right? Just in case, I had to look it up because Thunderbolts, I'm not super well familiar with them in the comics, but it looks like almost everybody, I think, except Kate Bishop that we said has been a part of a Thunderbolts team in the books, including Punisher. So, just out there for the people that are like, read the books. Just saying.
It's the MCU. Listen, the MCU, they do what they want. Stay tuned for a little bit later in the news. There's something fun that has been kind of put out there for all the bookies that are interested.
Yeah, Dylan, drop yours in the chat, and we'll read it off whenever you do.
Yeah,
it could be fun, man. It could be fun. This movie could be fun.
Super fun. It could have been super fun. I mean, listen though, I can't speak for you guys' lineup, but I'm just saying, I imagine at the end of this you have Bucky who's trying to do right, but is kind of messed up. Winter Soldier, he's doing kind of like, I like this type of work, right? Yelena, we know she'll do what she's got to do. Zemo's going to have his own agenda. War Machine's a plant. Who knows from who, what, where, why. We continue a little bit of that Skrull storyline. And then you just get Punisher just putting himself on the map. Just showing out against anyone and everyone. And imagine who they go up against, that he just takes them out. He's that guy.
Oh, man.
Bro.
Ooh. And this would only be better if Thunderbolt Ross was like actually the villain.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Please, Marvel, please.
Give us the keys.
Give us the keys. Give us the keys. Put them in our front yard, and we'll just walk in and do everything for you. I'm talking about something else. Invincible. It's coming back. Season 3. It's coming sooner than season 2. Thank God. Right? And something that I know we were very excited about on our Discord. Battle Beast and Titan will return. I think we've all been awaiting Battle Beast.
Yes. Oh, I loved Battle Beast. Yeah, that was one of our season 2 kind of expectations. What do we want to see most? I think everyone had a Battle Beast quote on there at least once of a character that we want to see. I think Battle Beast presence was missed, and
Yes.
Titan too. I think Titan was cool. I was really looking forward to seeing some more of that storyline because that was a really nice swerve in season 1. So it's nice to know that everyone behind Invincible is aware of their fumbles and bumbles for season 2. Like they have not been shy about that, and they're just trying to do it in a fun, creative way that Invincible has. And this they get a free pass from me for season 2.
Yeah, I like it, and it's doing what Spider Brando hoped at the end of our Invincible season 2 review, and thank God we don't have to wait 2 years, hopefully, for production.
Yes. I think this is a side note, but I believe that they are working on seasons 4 and 5.
They got confirmed for development.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think what I heard is that the voice work for season 3 is done.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, from what I read.
That's big.
Good.
Yeah, that's good. Hopefully it takes a step up from an animation quality. I think it's really good and unique in its own right, but as it gets wilder and crazier, I think they can make it a little crispier.
And just a quick little side note as well. I don't know if you guys heard about the crowdfunding for a video game on that.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, for those that didn't know, but Image Skybound, which is the company that owns the rights to Invincible, launched a crowdfunding campaign for a AAA Invincible game. And it absolutely demolished the goal that it had. I can't remember what exactly the goal it had was, but I think the last time I checked, it had raised over $500,000. So, I mean, for a crowdfunding campaign, that's huge. So
you would think like Amazon or like a bigger company that has also rights to Invincible would help out a little bit, but let the fan pitch in.
A serious question though, in the gaming world, I feel like the last 2 bigger, highly anticipated projects fell off a cliff in a way. I think Spider-Man, by the end of it, I felt they were like out to attack it a little bit more than was warranted. You guys played it. I didn't. You guys had a great conversation around it. It obviously sold a bunch, but didn't ultimately win as people may have expected it to. And then Suicide Squad killed the Justice League. I think people were like, that game's supposed to be good, and then it was and the DLCs were no good, and it just kind of lost a lot of steam. Thought it didn't look great. I didn't love how the gameplay looked, and I didn't think it looked great in the first place. People were like, this is a great game. I'm like, I don't know. So is it just kind of like we don't want to invest because it's not really going to be a positive or profitable thing for Amazon?
That could be it too. It probably could deal with like Amazon may have like the film or like animation rights, but not like game rights, kind of like how Sony's all over the place with Spider-Man. Could be one of those as well.
Wouldn't you want to invest in it though? Because I mean, just real quick, think about Invincible. We love Invincible. How many people still don't know anything about Invincible? They've never watched it. You say, hey, I'm going to watch Invincible, and they're like, is that a football movie about the 1970 Philadelphia Eagles? I don't know. What is it? Invincible still needs a lot of marketing help just to go kind of mainstream-ish.
Yeah. The only thing I can kind of think of is going this direction allows them to have a lot less of a like oversight from someone like Amazon or from a bigger parent company. It would allow less, kind of like, oh, you have to do this, you have to do that. Because even though like, and I think Kill the Suicide Squad is a perfect example, or Kill the Justice League is a perfect example of a parent company meddling. Because I saw quite a few developers, I think, And I mean, if you remember, Kill the Justice League was announced quite a few years ago. And it wasn't even called Kill the Justice League then. It was just a Suicide Squad game. It changed so much. And one has to wonder how much of that came from their parent company of Warner Brothers. Because Warner Brothers is notorious for that when it comes down to it. So I wouldn't be surprised if they did it this way to avoid that and make the game they really want. Which I think in this particular case is the best. It's honestly the best idea.
Very valid.
I like it. I like that. Good point. Maybe we'll touch on that for our deep dive too. Some parent company oversight, some little corporate talk a little bit. What do we got next?
We
Is it
got.
me? Oh no, it's you,
I'll
Spider-Man.
take it because it's Spider-Man related.
Now.
We got Spider-Man 4, not Toby's Spider-Man 4, but Tom's Spider-Man 4 is reportedly set to begin filming late September 2024. Kind of wild to think after all of these huge rumors and Sony, Marvel not knowing what they want to do with the movie. That it's going to pick up, start filming in like 5 months. But, a lot could happen and be developed in 5 months. So I got some hope for it. This is a side note. Also, I did see a tweet. I forgot exactly who the source was from. It wasn't RPK. But I did see somewhere that they said Sam, and not April Fool's, like legit was like 2 days ago, that Sam Raimi is potentially in talks to direct Spider-Man 4. That would be cool to see him having not obviously Toby 1, but him to finally get a 4. And this movie could fill in a lot of the ideas that he had for his original Spider-Man 4 for Toby. So I'd be okay with it.
Man, I have mixed thoughts on that. If it's Sam Raimi, I'm very used to John Watt's style. I think Tom has a very certain presence. I mean, Sam Raimi was attached to Secret Wars. Is he really going to go through and do Spider-Man 4 and then a couple Avengers level movies?
Whoa. But if they want Sony, or if Sony and Marvel, how they want to kind of have Spider-Man lead like Avengers and Secret Wars, it would be kind of good if they had Raimi do both and really make him shine for both movies he directs.
Symbiotic redemption, maybe.
I looked it up really quick. It's a valid rumor. I don't want it. and it's not that I don't want him. I want him to direct Spider-Man 4. But I don't want him to direct Spider-Man 4. You know what I mean? I want him to direct an actual Sam Raimi style Tobey Maguire.
Yeah.
4. I don't want him to do it Tom Holland.
Yeah.
Not because I don't think he couldn't do good. I feel like he could. He would probably crush it, honestly, because I do feel like he understands the character of Spider-Man. I just don't want him for that one.
That's fair. Interestingly enough, and this is why you come to the Point 3 podcast for your news. Remember, this is on and rumor, spoiler-ish, potential warning. The hard part is who's going to be the villain, right? If this is grounded and this is more Spider-Man focused and we get less Peter Parker, which I think Sam Raimi did a pretty good job of making a good Peter Parker, and we're going to get some Kingpin action in this. I don't know. Born Again is filming / done / getting towards the end, whatever. Spider-Man 4 is going to be filming in a few months. 2025 is going to be what it's going to be for the MCU after Fantastic Four. But I'm nervous about this movie. And I am nervous about them pushing Spider-Man to the forefront and making his character feel bigger than the Avengers as a whole. If Spider-Man is the leader of the Avengers, I don't love it simply because Sony, is Sony, but I want him to be kind of like that gold Power Ranger, man. The guy that just comes in and he just does his thing. He's the best. He's the best, but he's not the team leader. Someone else needs to be the Red Ranger. Let Spider-Man be the Gold Ranger and just kind of move on from there. I don't know what that really has to do with the movie, but sigh.
No,
I mean-
it's valid stuff.
Yeah.
No one knows what Spider-Man 4 is going to be, given what happened in No Way Home. Like, it's kind of a whole fresh take on the character, and given all of the changes throughout the MCU, very valid to have those concerns. As one who has a Spider-Man tattoo, can only be hopeful for it, and would love to see my boy lead the Avengers. Not like Tony or like Iron Man lead them, but at this point, he's one of the most experienced ones with working in teams and stuff. So I'd be okay with him having like a little fill-in, but not like fill-in lead, but not obviously like a lead.
I don't want him to lead at all. And I honestly don't even want him as a part of the Avengers like full time. Mainly because I think it limits what they can do. In the sense that obviously you can have your crossover still, even if he is an Avenger. But if he's just Spider-Man, he can be in Fantastic Four. He can be in
let him roam.
Daredevil. He can be in all these other things. If he's an Avenger, he won't because he's stuck.
Yeah.
He's too top tier to now go below, if that makes sense.
It would be cool if I still think it would be cool and smart for Marvel Studios to, in this movie, have Aman Vellani's Kamala Khan approach him and be like, hey, do you want to join the Young Avengers? And he's like, no. And then to have like Reed Richards or somebody or him get a note from the Baxter Building sign and be like, hey, we want you to join the Future Foundation or something along those lines, and be like, I can't. But that's the route he does go. Or like Sam to show up and be like, hey, do you want to do it? Val to be like, hey, do you want to be a Thunderbolt? He's the most sought after free agent, but he's just bigger than everyone else. And he's like, no, I am the guy in a way. And I hope he plays into that more when we eventually get the symbiote, because there needs to be that character shift of, I am that lone wolf solo kind of guy. Nobody can touch me. So when he is Black Suit Spider-Man or Symbiote Spider-Man, it's going to be so much more organic, in my opinion, for him to deny the rest of the MCU teams that would approach him. Just a loner. That's it.
Good point. And then also it'll really let the conflict of the symbiote grow within the MCU, right? Because if he's actively like interacting with all these other teams, they'll get to know him personally.
Yep.
And then when he gets the black suit and he changes completely, and they're like, that's kind of a problem.
Yeah.
And then he does something that does become a problem, and everybody's like, okay, we need to step in. And that way, if he keeps it for more than one movie, if, for example, Reed comes in Spider-Man 5 and he's like, dude, you need to get that off.
Yep.
You need that suit off now. And then he's like, no, fight me. Yep. It'll feel so cool.
Yeah. And it's totally believable that there could be a cameo of the Fantastic Four, and it's Spider-Man versus Thing, Human Torch, Mr. Fantastic, and Sue. That's wild. And the only other person I'll add to this, and I think that would be a good fit for Spider-Man to interact with in Spider-Man 4, tease the Fantastic Four, but let him spend the ever so slightest amount of time with Daredevil. Because again, people don't know who he is. He's trying to find himself. The insight that Daredevil and the conversations and the dialogue that they could have together of who is Spider-Man, who better than to deliver that than Matt Murdock? I can see through all the BS.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That would be Fantastic Four and Daredevil, I think, are the way to go for Spider-Man, not the Avengers.
Yeah. Agreed. Or we can just do what Dylan said, let Madam Web lead the Avengers. I think that's a good idea.
I'm a head up.
Wild. Dill, good comment here following up. Is it possible we get a Peter Parker, Johnny Storm live action friendship finally? Dude, that's what I'm talking about. Like, that is money. You talk about going back to the root, to the source.
I would love to
I would
see
think so.
Joseph and Tom interact.
Hype.
That would be awesome.
Hype.
I'd love it.
Easy cameo there. I think it'd be cool. But the cool thing that they can do from that standpoint is build out Johnny Storm a little bit, who's not, in his flame on state, but also Peter Parker. Maybe Johnny knows his identity. Maybe he doesn't. And if he does, that could be something they could point towards Reed. Whatever. You could do something really, really cool with that. I like that a lot.
I just want to see a future Foundation white black suit in this next trilogy so bad.
If Marvel Studios is good at anything, it's quickly adopting something that some other platform did. Shout out to your favorite Spider-Man game.
Spider-Man.
I have a very crazy outside bet that we will probably see a Superior suit before we see a future Foundation suit.
Ooh,
what? In the MCU?
really?
Yeah.
Dog, we're never going to see Superior in the MCU.
I have.
I mean,
I don't know
we
why.
do have.
I would love it.
Kind of hint with the red and black in Far From Home.
You have it. You have the presidents of the Iron Spider legs because they're not the traditional Iron Spider legs. You still got. Is it 4? Yeah, you still got 4.
Marvel doesn't care about us enough.
I'm not saying that Doc Ock is going to take over Peter. I don't think that's going to happen.
Just get,
it should. It's the multiverse.
It should. But that's my thing. I feel like we'll get a cameo of a Superior Spider-Man suit before we get a future Foundation.
I would be fine with that.
Superior, maybe in the no. Don't do it in the Sony Spider-Man because it would be bad. No, don't want it.
Okay, let me throw this out here for Spider-Man 4 real quick while we're kind of mulling this over, because I feel like this is the first time on our road to Spidey 4 that we've really talked about this on a live stream. Would you guys be fine if they ultimately brought in Venomverse characters, mainly Tom Hardy's Venom, fully into the MCU, not just some garbage bar scene that went kind of nowhere to this point?
I'd be okay with Tom Hardy's Venom and only Tom Hardy's Venom. I obviously don't. I mean, if you count actresses like Sydney Sweeney as Black Cat, would be pretty cool because that's my nice fan cast rumor. But don't even touch Madam Web in the MCU or Craven or
it's all
Morbius,
MCU, baby. It's all
don't even
MCU.
touch them in the MCU.
What are you gonna do when Madam Web shows up as a feature on Disney Plus?
Oh God.
I'm just gonna hit it hide from interest. I paid money to see
will.
that movie. I don't even want to see it for free. Not even free. Oh,
yeah, you do. You want to watch it again.
What if you click on it and Disney gave you 20 credits? And it's like, what?
Yeah.
Just give me $20.
I just
for Spider-Man.
I open it up in a new tab, play it no volume, black screen. That's it.
It's like my problem with it is that Venom, like the Sony Spider-Verse Venom, is whatever. I don't think it's a great Venom, but I don't think it's a bad one. Would it be cool to see them interact? Yes, but I also feel like Venom is best at his best when he is a villain turned anti-hero, not anti-hero turned villain turned friend. That's not, I don't think that'll feel good. Like to force a conflict between like Tom Hardy and that Peter Parker. I don't know. I don't like it. Because at this point, there's no reason for them to.
Guys, what if they did Craven's Last Hunt of the Sonyverse?
Oh God. Before we even get like it. No. Let's not throw that out there. Let's
All
not
right,
throw
all
that
right.
out there.
We got some good stuff to still cover. Lots more to come on the Spider-Man 4 conversations. If you guys thought of anything, drop it in our Discord. We will happily stay up until 2-3 a.m. chatting Spider-Man, no problem. But for the sake of the live stream, the next piece of news that we do have, which may or may not come as a surprise to some of you that are watching this or listening, but the Deadpool director confirmed that Deadpool and Wolverine is not Deadpool 3. I have no other comments to that. It is not Deadpool 3. I'm still seeing it referred to as Deadpool 3 all the time across the internet. And it is just setting up some weird expectations for people. But then the leaks are kind of weird because it makes it feel like a Deadpool 3. So who knows? Multiverse.
I like calling it Deadpool 3 just because it's easier to type out than Deadpool and Wolverine.
For the convenience.
Yeah.
I mean, I get what he's trying to say. Like it's more than that, but it also logically from a story.
Like it's legit a continuation of what happened in Deadpool 2.
Yeah. So
And
it's
the
like
post-credit scene specifically, it doesn't make sense.
exactly. It's kind of a dumb, the dual drink of water was crazy. Only 0.3 live stream. But yeah, no, this was kind of a weird comment. I feel like this was just they were like, hey, what can you tell us about Deadpool? And he was like, it's not Deadpool 3. And they're like, wow, so insightful.
Thunderbolts asterisks, baby.
Yeah. Speaking of thirds, though, I know a certain Spider Brando was very happy. And I won't lie, this got me excited too. Right? D&W, very true. But Sonic 3, since we're talking about the third, it's all right. Pop it up there. Pop it up there.
Too early. No, come
No,
on.
pop it up there.
Go on.
That's how excited he is.
You were just rolling.
It's early.
You were just rolling with it.
We know that Shadow, the best hedgehog out of all of them, is coming out in Sonic 3. Well, it was revealed that Keanu Reeves was cast as the voice actor for Shadow or for Sonic, right? Sonic 3. He's joining Jim Carrey's Eggman, Ben Schwartz, Sonic, Idris Elba as Knuckles. Guys, what a stacked cast. Spider Brando, I got to throw this over to you. We knew how you reacted, but how did you feel how did you react when you heard this? For those that aren't in Discord and in our personal chats.
Well, when you first sent it, I just saw the text of Keanu as Shadow, and just completely was like, damn, there's no way that's real. They just said like they won't be revealing the voice actor for a while. And I legit did my digging, even though you sent it from the legit article, just because I didn't believe it, and was so freaking ecstatic once I actually realized it was official. Oh my god, what a perfect casting. Like I'm so hyped I can't even gather my thoughts. Keanu, actor, always around guns. Shadow, hedgehog associated with guns during Shadow the Hedgehog video game. I know they've been shying away from Shadow in a lot of media recently with guns and all that to make it more friendly and stuff, but yo, he was born to play Shadow the Hedgehog. There's a picture of Keanu from John Wick 4, pistol down, holding a gun. They have a picture from Shadow the Hedgehog video game, same exact pose. Like it's just you put them side by side, they just look like they could play each other. And it's a funny reference from Sonic 1. I'm really hoping they do a Easter egg into this for Sonic 3 or kind of like make a little joke. Sonic 1, there's a scene where he's watching this movie Speed that had Keanu Reeves in it, and goes on to say like, "Oh my god, Keanu Reeves is like my favorite actor. Like Keanu's the best or something." When Sonic first hears Shadow's freaking voice in this Sonic 3, he better say that he sounds like Keanu Reeves. That will be I could walk out of theater right there and say it's 10 out of 10 movie if they did that.
I need John Wick references. I need Matrix references. Like if he goes out there and he says like, they're like, "What do you need?" and he's like, "I need guns." Lots of guns.
Oh my god.
Like that'd be perfect. Or I don't know if they fit him in a suit or something. I don't know what they can do to reference John
Shadow
Wick.
with the drip? No.
Yeah, or if you get his dog and he's like,
Dude, get him
I
his
will.
motorcycle at least. That's
Yeah.
all.
He's like, "I will kill for this dog." That'd be a great joke. Top tier casting.
I can't wait, man. I just need to see a trailer for this movie at this point. Like, and when that trailer drops, I will be like 1 million of its whatever views it gets. I will be absolutely freaking barrel for it. I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's legit. No, super exciting. Stay tuned. Point Through podcast. We're gonna have some more Sonic 1, 2, Knuckles thoughts, reviews, all that good stuff. But as we get to the end of this live stream, everyone, really quickly wanted to thank all of you for joining us. Shout out to one of the best Point Through people out there, Dylan. Always a pleasure having you live here. Some great stuff in Discord. But really quickly, we just want to close with a quick thoughts. Marvel writer Cody Ziegler said Kevin Feige requested that they kill Miss Marvel in the Amazing Spider-Man number 26 and then resurrect her as a mutant to make it in line with the MCU. They have plans. And we know now that X-Men 97 has officially been added to the MCU multiverse saga. This Hero, we're going to throw this over to you for some final thoughts. Corporate synergy, getting everything under one roof. What are your thoughts on kind of what happens behind the scenes with MCU and now DCU kind of being those parent companies that have a little bit more oversight than maybe some of the fans would like?
Yeah. It's in certain ways it's smart, especially when it comes down to like comics, shows and all that, to be able to promote a character before their big screen debut. It generates hype. And the one big one that I can think of is that Shang-Chi, when Shang-Chi was about to come out in the theaters, they released a couple of miniseries for him. I think it was just one particular one, but it was called Shang-Chi and the 10 Rings. And it was pretty fun, It gave you a good idea of who he was. It updated the lore for people who either didn't read Shang-Chi back then or are just completely new to the character and, or those who read him back then and haven't read him for a while, to update it enough to where even though it's not the MCU version, it's similar enough, right? It's very interesting that in this case, though, in terms of the Kamala Khan dying and resurrecting as a mutant, that's such a big one. And I remember being on TikTok and I saw a lot of people when Miss Marvel came out. A lot of people were saying, I wonder when this is going to be incorporated into the comics. Sure enough, about a year later, this storyline comes out. It's just odd because this felt like it could have been done in the pages of X-Men, or it should have been, to really get that synergy. For it to go Spider-Man, Kamala Khan, who really, at least from what I understood looking into it, she isn't as involved in that run of Spider-Man. So she just kind of came in for that just to die and then bounced over to X-Men. It's a weird, 1, 2, 3. So there is synergy in terms of her being a mutant, but it wasn't executed properly. So it's just odd to see such a blatant, change of a key trait to a character, especially with the X-Men and how they are now. I don't know. I didn't think that, especially for them to say it, right? For Cody Ziegler to come out and say this, it's very interesting because it makes me wonder how much they forced their hand. Was it really like a, hey, could you maybe do it? Or was it more like, you have to? Like, you have till issue 26. If she's not dead,
You will be.
they just stop. It's like, whoa, okay. I don't know. This one feels odd because we know that these types of things happen. Like, we're not dumb. We know that these types of things happen, but for it to be like this blatant feels weird.
I agree with that. But we shall see what the MCU has in store for Kamala. And they've already hinted at her. Actually, they already said that she was mutant. So very, 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 very interesting stuff. But on that note, we are out of time. If you would like more from the Point 3 podcast, hop into our Discord where we are always yapping, doing movie nights and fun stuff. Thank you, everybody, for joining this live stream. Stay tuned to our socials and Discord, like I mentioned, to tune into the next one next Wednesday. Next Wednesday. We have a special potential 1-year anniversary coming up.
Yeah.
Oh, that was perfect.
I was waiting.
Do we want to drop what we're going to talk about? Hype it up a little bit.
Go ahead.
Yeah. And
yeah.
well, with MCU redo alongside some fun anniversary stuff, we're gonna do a special episode, a live episode of the MCU redo, and we're gonna talk. Drumroll, please. Everybody's favorite MCU film, Avengers Endgame, for its special anniversary too, because that'll be next week as well.
Yes. That's
Two
big.
goats.
That's
same
big.
day.
That's big. Ooh. I like that. Let's go.
Bad.
Well, tune in for a special episode next week. And until then, there's 3 things that we need you to do. Need to keep watching, keep reading, and keep nerding out. Peace.